Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Emily Haller and I'm here with José Rodrigues of CA Technologies. And we're at Finextra's Next Gen Banking event at level 39. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
What are the biggest challenges created by PSD2 for banks and impacted organisations?
Okay, so for me, well, the obvious organizations that will be impacted by PSD2 are mainly the banks and the clearing houses, because they will lose the control over their most valuable asset, which is the digital identity of their customers, and the payment brokers or the clearing houses, they might be completely put outside of the actual payment schema that is basically based on cards and transactions through cards. So that means that they need to embrace a transformation process because PSD2 is about digital transformation, is about doing the things faster and more convenient and more secure for our consumers, for our customers. And therefore, this is something that they need to address at a strategic level, and then you need to implement it at an operational level. So I think those are the most, I would say, challenge that we'll face in the future, is how they can prepare themselves to embrace PSD2 as an opportunity and take advantage of this transformation to leverage the so-called digital transformation, or to address the app economy. That's, well, the nice words that we are here now on the market. The other impacted organizations that might not be so obvious could be a retailer, could be a telecom company. So the companies that somehow have a huge customer base, somehow they have reputation on the market, and therefore they are quite well positioned to bring new services to the market that allow them to scale up in the value chain of their customers. Imagine if I'm a retailer and I have a loyalty program with a card or whatever, so that I can accumulate some points that later I can convert it in a promotion actions or whatever. So imagine that I can add on top of that loyalty program a payment service that, by the way, allow me to pay my bills when I'm in a supermarket or using doing some shops on the internet, to use two or three different accounts just to accomplish that payment. So that would be amazing. So there's a big opportunity for them, and they'll be impacted for this for sure. Okay, so I would say that banks and clearing houses are the most obvious one, but also the new ones like retail companies, like telecommunication companies, even postal companies. They might be very well positioned to take advantage of this and make the difference on the market, building convenience and very nice user experience solutions.
And what are the game-changing opportunities that we're hearing about?
I would say that the big game change is that PSD2 is about putting the customer at the center of this market. So in previous PSD, let's call it this way, previous PSD environment was based on transactions. So actually the identity of the customers was almost irrelevant, because that was secured and owned by the banks. PSD2 is just completely changing the game, and it now is putting the customer at the center, because it's giving to the customer, to the consumer, the authority to decide who can access to these accounts. So I used to say that, I love to say actually, that PSD2 is the new race for the digital identity ownership, sorry. And therefore I think this is the big challenge that they will face. Okay.
Are new entrants and challenger banks more positive about PSD2? And are there any other industries that could take advantage of it?
Well, based on the conversations that we had with our customers, and also looking into your report, does looks like that the actual banks, so the incumbent banks, they are taking this very seriously, and few of them have already started a transformation process in order to become, well, a more open company, in order to allow them to create their position on the market as a strong player in the digital economy. So I wouldn't say that they are not so positive as the new players. Of course, they have huge legacy systems, so they have tens, some of the cases more than 100 years of history, and legacy systems that they need to transform, that they need to prepare to address PSD2. And therefore this is going to be hard for them. It might take some more time, it might take more money to do it, but I think they are doing it. Of course, there are different velocities across Europe, different countries, and of course, inside in each country there are different velocities depending on the banks. Of course, for the new entrants, like the digital banks or disruptor banks, like, well, there's a very good example here in UK, which is the Starling Bank. It will be easy for them because there is no legacy, so they can start from the scratch with just a mindset, which is we are going to address PSD2 as an opportunity, and we'll create new services, alternative services for our customers, putting them at the center and build for them a more secure and convenient user experience.
What should companies be doing about PSD2 now?
Well, for me, it's clear. 2018 is the year that the regulation is going to be implemented in the market as a law. So until then, the countries need to transpose the regulation to the local laws, and that might be the big variable that we have, because in this transposition to the laws, there might be some things that need to be adjusted, and will be some difference from the countries. So those are the big incognites, you know. The technical specifications are not there yet in order to address strong authentication or even the access to account that most likely is going to be done through APIs. But the truth is that the actual technology is flexible enough, is reliable enough, it can scale in a sense that won't be difficult in 2 years to do some adjustments if needed. Because it's also, I think it's also common sense on the market that the ABA, so European Bank Authority, is not going to draft any technical specifications based on standards that do not exist. So they are not inventing nothing. So they use the actual standards. So it's just the way they're going to be packaged that will make some difference or not in 2018. So having said that, I think that the companies should start in right now. As some of the, well, you see on our research that some of the companies are doing that already. So it's up to them to do it. They have to try. They have to be ready to fail, because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of failures, but it's part of the transformation process that we'll face. But I think they should start now. And I think it's also what your report is saying, is that a majority of the companies, they think that they should start now, and some of them have already started. So because there's no time to waste.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.